This is page 155, multiplying fractions on unit 16. Concept application. How do the products of 1/3 times 2 1/2 and 1 times 2 1/2 compare? Well, if you take a look at this first one, you're only finding 1/3 of this. You're only finding 1/3 part of 2 1/2. But here, you're finding all of 2 1/2. So let's read this. The product is greater than the product of this. That is not true. This is going to be less than because you're only finding a part of, so it's less than. The product of this is equal to. There's no way it could be equal to. The only way these could be equal to is if I put 3/3 times, which is because 3/3 would be the same thing as this 1 right here, correct? So C, let's look at this one. The product 1 times this is 1/3 as much. No. Let's look at this one. The product of this is less than. That is absolutely correct. The product here is 1. It's less than this one. All right, there we go. Moving on to the next one. Miss Carter records the expression 1/4 times 52. Joe says solution is this. Cal says it is this. Why? Well, if you wanted to use estimation, you know you're only finding part of 52, right? So if you're only finding part of 52, you know that your answer is going to be less than 52. In my opinion, I'd probably go ahead and work it out. Okay, so I put 52 over 1, and then I ended up with 52, what, fourths? And then I divided 4 into 52. 4 divided into 12 3 times. So we know indeed the answer is 13. Well, we knew that anyway, so we know Cal is correct. So Joe isn't correct. Joe isn't correct. And now let's read these two with Cal. Cal, because of multiplication, always decreases the number. Not always. It all depends on what you're multiplying by. All right, Cal, because multiplying a number by a fraction less than 1 decreases the number. Yes, because you're only finding a part of 52. Very nice job. Now, this next problem, it says on Monday, Brandy worked 3 3/4 hours. On Wednesday, she worked twice as many hours as she worked on Monday, which best describes how long Brandy worked on Wednesday. All right, twice as many. So what's happening when you're multiplying 3 3/4 times 2? Literally, you're multiplying the 3 times 2, which would be 6, and then the 2 times 3/4, so that would be 6/4, right? And we know that that one would be the same as 1 2/4. So 6 plus 1 2/4 is 7 2/4, which is the same as 7 1/2. Now, so where does that fall? In between 6 and 8 hours. So again, to review for that one mentally, you could have just said 2 times 3 is 6. Then you could have done the 2 times 3/4 is what? 6/4. Now, don't forget, now we've already learned this too. You can always, I'm going to change colors with this, but you could have always turned your mixed number into improper by doing 4 times 3 is 12, plus 3 is 15, and had 15/4 times 2 over 1 equals 30 over 4. And then you could have done your division. 4 divides into 30 7 times with 2 left over. 7 2/4 again. It's the same thing as 7 1/2. So if you don't ever know, do the math, right? Always do the math. All right, let's look at number 4. Star began with the number 240. She multiplied the number by 7/2. So we know what 7/2 is the same thing as 3.5. So we are doing it at least 3 times and then some. Then Star multiplied the product by 13/13. What's 13/13? It's the same thing as 1 whole. Which of these following is the most accurate statement? Let's read. Number 1, Star's number increased with the first multiplication. Yes, we know that. And then remained the same with the second. Why? I mean, that one right there is already, I mean, that's the best one. And, you know, I know they put the answer as A, and so you don't necessarily want to read all the rest, but you might want to zoom through those to make sure. The second product had a value of exactly 240. The second product had a value of exactly 240, and no, because you multiplied, you started with 240. Star's number decreased with the first multiplication. No, we're not, if we had these fractions reversed, or the numerator and the denominator, and just said 2/7 of 240, that would make it true, but absolutely not. All right, Star's number increased with the first multiplication and then increased again with, no, it didn't increase again, no, because it stayed the same by multiplying by 1. So 4 is A. Number 5, let's go to Ricky. It says, Ricky has a note card with an area of 18 square inches. The area of the note card is greater than the area of a sticky note. Which expression might represent the area in square inches of a sticky note that is smaller than, so you're trying to find a number that is smaller than 18. Well, if you multiplied 18 times 2, that's what? 36. There's no way that's smaller than 18. You're trying to find a number smaller than 18. So what is 18 plus a half? 18.5. It's not smaller than 18. Oh, 1/2 of 18. What does 1/2 of 18 equal? 9. This one looks good. Check the last one. Okay, so what is this? This is the same thing as, well, we know it's 2 halves, which is 1 times 18, but then it would be also another 1/2 of it. So that one cannot be it. It has to be which one? Has to be for number 5. It has to be C. Yep. All right. Now let's go on to the very last problem. It talks about Stanley drinks 2/3 cup of milk each day, which best describes the amount of milk Stanley would drink in 5 days. So really what you're doing is you are multiplying 5 days at 2/3 each day. You can put this 5 over 1, multiply across 10 over 3. You can tell I'm kind of getting a little bit tired. 3 divides into 10 3 times with what left over? With 1. Again, if you need to do the math, prove it. Your remainder is 1/3. There you go. So it's not 2/3. It's in between 3 and 5 cups. Can be exactly 5, more than 5. No. Nice job.